again. We are no fools on the heat. My people are no fools on the heat. You must let my people go, so we can rule from Cape to Cairo. You must free my people's sons, so we can rule our purpose land.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ABS Africa Broadcasting Service, as usual, coming to you from the great state of Texas, precisely here in Houston. It's always a privilege, ladies and gentlemen, to come to you with revolutionary updates, or call it struggle, Ambazonia struggle updates from ABS. Of course, I am yours truly, the anchor man, Chris Ano. And again, thanks for tuning in. I'd like to welcome all of you who are tuning in from across the globe, from Europe, from Ukraine, Poland. Those of you Ambazonian refugees in Ukraine, in Poland, thank you for tuning in. Those of you in all of Europe, including the United Kingdom, thank you also for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, I can't forget all of you in the United States of America, plus Canada, and of course, those of you sitting around the border between Mexico and Texas or California, thank you for tuning in. I pray that all of you will receive your asylum and have entry into the USA. Once more, good evening and thanks for tuning in. I got so much to bring to you today, ladies and gentlemen. So, if you have joined by way of the social media, Facebook in particular, please do me the favor, go ahead and hit your share button. And if you are sitting by your television set on ground zero, please make that phone call, tell somebody who did not know the anchorman will be alive today, that he is indeed not live, but alive, so they can tune in to watch, to get updates that I bring to them today. Okay, while you do so, I like to also welcome all of you who are joining from the prison yards in Yaoundé, Kondenge, Yaoundé, because I know so many of you tune in on the weekly basis to watch ABS, especially the anchorman. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Please let us quickly populate this platform today. I got quite an exciting broadcast to bring to you today. So please let us quickly populate the platform so that I can get into that. I'm not going to waste time to wait for you to populate the platform. However, I will delve directly into the broadcast for tonight. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be talking about quite a number of issues. Number one, La République du Cameroon has created the post of vice president, in that country for the first time. Now, when you see that happens, you know they are about to carry it, let's call it a coup, though, in quote, a coup in quote, because not really a coup. They know what they're planning to do. Now, we're going to be talking about that. We also will be talking about the killings in Bafut, ladies and gentlemen, and the killings in Isu, Menchum County. We're going to be talking about those killings, which are really, of course, no killings look good, but this one is quite pathetic. We will talk about that. We will also talk about the destruction of Ambazonian homes in the city of Douala, or call it the suburbs of Douala, without any thought of compensation. We're waiting to hear that those people are compensated. And then we will also be talking about the cacophony that took place over the weekend in Washington, D.C. underground called ASSC 2, so-called. I will bring you my monologue or talking point on that, and I will be joined by a powerful as usual panel to look into all of this. So ladies and gentlemen, please go ahead, hit your share button immediately if you are joining by way of Facebook. If you are joined by way of Facebook, go ahead, hit that share button. I will be right back.
Would you pay $1,000 to advertise on TV for 1 hour per week for 12 months or for a full year? You pick a day, on Sunday or Saturday. ABS knows Africa and have a viewership that covers it from Cairo to Cape Town. Call us today to find out more about this offer. Your ministry, church, business, nonprofit can benefit from this. Call us today before the spots are all taken. Would you pay $1,000 to advertise on TV for 1 hour per week for 12 months or for a full year? You pick a day, on Sunday or Saturday. ABS knows Africa and have a viewership that covers it from Cairo to Cape Town. Call us today to find out more about this offer. Your ministry, church, business, nonprofit can benefit from this. Call us today before the spots are all taken. Would you pay $1,000 to advertise on TV for 1 hour per week for 12 months or for a full year? You pick a day, on Sunday or Saturday. ABS knows Africa and have a viewership that covers it from Cairo to Cape Town. Call us today to find out more about this offer.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. And please, I like to see the numbers jumping. I do not see them jumping. I see them decreasing, ladies and gentlemen. So please go ahead and quickly hit that share button if you have already joined. Again, by way of Facebook, we want to see at least 1K on this screen today. So please do me that favor. If you are already joined, go ahead, let everybody out there, send it to your your WhatsApp groups. Send the link to your WhatsApp groups. Let them know the anchor man is here. And while you do so, let me take you, ladies and gentlemen, to La République du Cameroon. La République du Cameroon. Monsieur! I don't know how to pronounce that really good enough, but if I get it wrong, please forgive me. I am not Francophone. I am Anglo-Saxon. So I call it Monsieur le Vice-President. I don't know if I get it right again. But that is Monsieur Ngo, ladies and gentlemen, being projected as the incoming Vice President of the Republic of Cameroon. La République du Cameroon. We call it in English. Now, this is a little bit awkward and, of course, strange. Ngo has been at the presidency, acting, filling in for Mr. Paul Biya, ladies and gentlemen. It is believed that he does almost all of what goes on in that country today. He sits in for Mr. Paul Biya and takes most of the decisions, including decisions involving the war, ladies and gentlemen, in our territory. Monsieur Ngo is the one who is ruling La République du Cameroon at the moment. And now we are being told he is being projected by a very reputable news media, Jeune Afrique, to be Cameroon's first vice president. Now, you will recall that that country has never had that position before. It is now being created and Ngo. Ngo is now being projected as the one, ladies and gentlemen, as the one to become the vice president of Cameroon. It is interesting. Now, when they sat there, created their, put together their grand national dialogue and discussed the reforms that were to take place, of course, the position of the vice president wasn't part of the discussion. This is only coming up now, ladies and gentlemen. Now, in the past months or years, we've been hearing about, what is his son? What is his name? Bia's son, Frank Bia becoming president after his father. Now, we see the post of vice president being created, and Ngo is being projected to becoming the vice president. The question that everyone asks is, what are they trying to do? What are they? What is La République du Cameroun trying to do? Are they trying to transfer leadership? Are they trying to transfer leadership so that Frank Bia becomes president and Ngo remains his vice? Or are they trying to make Ngo vice president in the interim so that when Bia is gone, Ngo becomes president? These are some of the questions that need answers, because it doesn't make sense that in a country where there is a succession provision in the constitution, they jump to creating the position of a vice president. When you have parliament, you have the senate, you have the prime minister, ladies and gentlemen. So it is a little bit strange. It is a little bit strange what La République du Cameroun is trying to do here. Now, is it really important to us? Somebody will say no. I will not say no, ladies and gentlemen, because whatever happens in La République du Cameroun at this moment affects our struggle. So do not say, oh, it doesn't really matter, ignore it, it concerns them, doesn't concern us. No, we cannot say so. We cannot say so. Whatever happens in that country now, ladies and gentlemen, affects the course, the direction of our struggle. I have always known, this is the way I look at it, I have always known, ladies and gentlemen, that the moment Mr. Bia is gone, the moment Bia is no more, the moment Bia is no more, any new leader who takes over from him in that country would want at all costs, not to continue with this war. He would want to negotiate, of course, not negotiate a free and independent Amazonia, no. He would want to negotiate their kind of federation, living together, they call it, ladies and gentlemen, with us. So, let me say this. Listen to me. A change of leadership in La République du Cameroun doesn't favor our struggle at all. Because for as long as Bia stays there, he is a gift that keeps on giving to us. Why? The international community doesn't want to see him, even though they don't want to sanction him. They don't want to do to him what they are doing to Putin, to Putin in Russia. But they don't like him. They would prefer him to go. They believe if somebody else comes in, the person would want to sit down with Anglophones, as they call it, make some peace, negotiate with them for some federalism or federal structure. So any change in La République du Cameroun, no matter who takes over, isn't a good change for us, for the struggle, Amazonian struggle, ladies and gentlemen. No, it will not be. So I am not praying that Mr. Bia should leave. I pray he stays there and if possible dies there. Let him die there. So This is why it is important for us to discuss any change, any political change taking place in La République du Cameroon. If Ingo comes in, becomes the next president of La République du Cameroon, he would want to sit down. They call him a hardliner, as I learned, but listen, no leader who takes over in La République du Cameroon would want to ignore, would want to continue with this war, because they know how much the war is eating deep into the economic and political fabric, social fabric of La République du Cameroon, which is why it is dangerous. Which is why, let me put it this way, we have to put our house in order. We have to put our house in order. And when I talk about our house, I am referring to the leadership of Ambazonia, the different stakeholders in Ambazonia as a whole. Because if Mr. Biya is gone and they bring in somebody else, ladies and gentlemen, that person would want to sit down and negotiate, and we must negotiate with one voice, nothing else but a free and independent Ambazonia. Again, listen to me carefully. Whoever takes over in La République du Cameroon would want to sit down and negotiate with Ambazonians, which is why Ambazonians must show themselves to be ready. Let's forget about the cacophony out there they call infighting. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, there may be infighting, but listen, the road or the route remains the same, the destination remains the same. I am looking forward to these days, talking to all the leaders, all the major leaders, stakeholders in this struggle, because it is critical. It is critical that we come together and think about what happens when Yaoundé is leaderless or going through a transition. Ladies and gentlemen, I was told by people in Somaliland that, you know what, they were able to take control of their country not because there was no political leadership in Somalia, not because they defeated Somalia. No, they were able to take control of their country. I'm referring to Somaliland. They were able to take control of their country, ladies and gentlemen, because of the transition in Somalia, where their leaders were fighting to take over who leads that country, Somalia. And the Somalilanders seized the opportunity, took their country, and they kept it up till today. As Yaoundé begin to think of these transitions, ladies and gentlemen, as Yaoundé begin to think and plan for these transitions, we in Ambazonia must begin to plan too. We must not miss an opportunity that could give us our country. And again, I would really love to reach out to every stakeholder in Ambazonia. In the coming days, we have to discuss the way forward as we see Yaoundé making these changes. And by the way, you would think that in La République du Cameroon, where they have a prime minister, of course, succession does not give a prime minister leadership. Of course not. Their constitution says where the president is incapacitated, the president of the Senate takes over, I think, for 30 days, and then bring in a new leader. It doesn't say the prime minister. You know why? Because they have always given the post of the prime minister to Ambazonian. So their constitution is carefully crafted to the effect that an Ambazonian, Southern Cameroonian, should never lead that country. Should never lead that country. They are scared of any Ambazonian, even the hand clappers that they have among them, like Paul Tassong, Dion Gute, Paul Atanganji, all the Pauls, Paul Elong, and so on. They are scared of them, even though they are toothless bulldogs amongst them, ladies and gentlemen. They will never allow an Anglo-Saxon personality within their fold, prime minister in that matter, to become president in that country. Let me tell you something. I've heard some people said to me in the past, Secretary Chris, I think if they give us federation, let's take it. That's what some people told me. They said, Secretary Chris, I think, should they give us federation? Or we should go there, negotiate for federation. So that if they give us federation, if they agree for federation, we can then take it, and then in another 5 years, we'll build up our army and cut off from them. Ladies and gentlemen, La République du Cameroon will never sign any federation that gives the northern zone and the southern zone full autonomy over its territory and resources, because they are scared of you. They know that they give you that federation. The governor up in the northern zone will be building an army. The governor up in the southern zone will be building an army. In fact, the governors will not even be, ladies and gentlemen, they may not even be Amazonians. If they give us federation, the governors will not even be Amazonians. They will be Francophones. You know, the policy of integration. You remember bilingualism? They will never give us indigenous, nationalist Amazonians to be governors in the northern, governor in the northern zone, governor in the southern zone, because they will be scared of them, that they will cut the country and run away from. So some people were saying to me, Secretary Chris, I think if they agree on federation, we should take it, and then with time, we'll cut off. It will never happen, because they will never allow an Amazonian to be governors in both zones. They will never allow it to be. It will never happen. That is why we must fight and die for nothing but a free and independent Southern Cameroons. Now or never. Now or never, ladies and gentlemen. Don't fall for that shit they call federation. Federation, our people have not been dying for all these years, 5 years and counting, just for federation. If La République so much love federation, they should have implemented it for the time our forefathers began to ask for it. So many people did not have to die before La République considers federation. We are in for this fight. We are paying the price of this war, not to go back and live together with La République du Cameroon in the so-called federation. We are in this war, losing our families, losing our heritage, losing everything that we've planted or sown over the years for nothing but a free and independent Amazonia. Ladies and gentlemen, any other route leads you back into the hands of La République du Cameroon. That's what we're fighting for. And so that is it. That's what is happening in La République du Cameroon. They are tapping Monsieur Ngo to become vice president of that country. Again, let your eyes be open out there. Let your eyes be open out there. What they are planning, we will very soon discover it. Now let me take you to another subject, ladies and gentlemen. This time, a very, very sad one. A very, very sad subject. Now, there was, let me bring you some images here coming from Bafut. The images here coming from Bafut, ladies and gentlemen, talking about the killing of a young man in his 30s an enterprising young man, business guy, in his 30s in Bafut over the weekend. Now, this young man by the names of Longchi Sama Claude was killed over the weekend in Bafut. And this is what I have learned. This is what I have learned about his killing. This is what I have learned about his killing. I have learned that the victim, again, 35 years old, struggling father of 2 kids, a young son of Bali, who lived in Bamenda, was taken from Bamenda into Bafut at about 6 a.m. Breaking Sunday morning. That was yesterday. He was taken in his own car, a white Jeep, by unidentified gunmen. We are told he was murdered in cool blood in a little village called Agiati in Bafut. After killing him, ladies and gentlemen, after killing him, they took his car, the Jeep, from Agiati down to another village called Manka, an area under the control of General Tiger. Now, the family is said to have gone to the Colonial Brigade in Agiati. Ladies and gentlemen, the family went to the Colonial Brigade in Agiati, that is in Bafut, to seek permission to take the corpse away for burial. Eyewitnesses have reported that the murder of Claude was carried out by some rooks claiming to be Ambazonia restoration fighters. The white Jeep belonging to Claude was later found speeding through Manka in Bafut upwards towards Mambo. General Tiger is called upon to investigate this incident. It is important because it occurred within his area of control. This happened within General Tiger's area of control, and this is known to be happening a lot in Bafut. We totally condemn this interim government, totally condemns these kinds of acts that paint diligent and genuine restoration fighters as criminals. Harassment of our population, of our civilians, kidnappings and ransom taking, they have nothing to do with our war for independence. No mercy, and I mean no mercy, will be shown on criminals who carry out such acts when caught. The criminals who killed this young father of 2, leaving these 2 beautiful children behind, fatherless, ladies and gentlemen, fatherless. The criminals who carried out this act, they will be caught. They will be caught. The criminals who killed this young father, they must be apprehended. And we are asking the population of Bamenda and Bafut to contact us with any information. Contact us with any information that they may have. Any information you may have. Please contact us with any information that you may have concerning the killing of this young man. It is very, very sad that a young man in his early 30s, ladies and gentlemen, will fall victim to such acts of, to such acts by rooks calling themselves restoration fighters. No restoration fighter, ladies and gentlemen, does this, because this is not part of the struggle for our independence. It is not, and we will not tolerate it. We will not tolerate it. I am now joined by the brother of this young man who lost his life only yesterday, and his jeep was confiscated. Let us hear from him. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Again, this is Secretary Chris. You are live with me. Can you just paint to us what you know about the killing of your brother? I know this is a hard thing for you to do, considering that this happened just yesterday. But can you tell us what you have learned, what you have heard, where precisely he was picked up in Bamenda, taken to Bafut Place?
Yes, so I have gotten multiple reports about what actually happened.
Okay.
With nobody actually giving an exact account. But what I heard from the first account, he was kidnapped from his house.
Oh, he was kidnapped from his house. One account says.
Yes. Another account says he was at a bar. He was having some refreshments with his friends at the bar when gunmen suddenly arrived and started taking money from people and asked who has. Actually, they spotted his car out and they said, "Who has the car?" And he said it's his car. So they took him with the car and drove him to Bafut and killed him there. That's the second report I got.
Now, you are the blood brother, the same father,
Yes.
the same mother
Yes.
with him.
Yes.
Have you
Yes,
spoken
my
to the
brother.
wife?
Yes.
And what version of the story does the wife confirm? Was he picked up from home or picked up at the bar?
The last time she spoke to him was when he got off from work, when he was leaving work and going to the house. So she's not actually sure because they spoke. She's in Bamenda, so she spoke on the phone with him.
Oh, okay. So,
Yes.
all right.
Yes.
So the wife spoke with him after he left work.
Yes.
Okay. So they picked him up in his car. They drove him to Bafut.
Yes. They drove him to Bafut and killed him there and dumped his body in the farm.
Was he the only one picked up, or there were others picked up with him? Any idea?
He was the only. I think he was the only one.
And he had these two kids that were seen on the screen here.
Yes.
How old are the children?
The children are 7 and 4.
7 and 4. And what
Yes.
business was your brother into in Bamenda?
He was working for an electronics a store that sells electronic devices.
Okay.
Yes.
Electronic
Yes.
shop, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
He has been working there for years now. For a couple of years now.
Did he own it, or he was working for somebody, for the company?
No, he was working for the company.
Now, has his jeep been discovered yet?
I beg your pardon?
Has his jeep that was taken along with him been discovered yet?
No. I don't think so.
So the jeep is still out.
Yes.
Now, your family, I understand, went to the police station in Agiati, obtained permission to retrieve the cars. Did the police say anything like as to what they think happened?
No, I haven't gotten any information as for that.
All
I
right.
have not gotten any information, yes.
So, but right now the cops have been retrieved, correct?
Yes, the cops have been retrieved.
Okay. Any gist at all as to who did this? What are you hearing?
From all reports, they say it was done by Amber Boys. From all reports.
Okay.
For most reports, they said it was done by Amber Boys, yes. They are the ones responsible for this.
Any idea if any money was collected from him?
No.
So as of now, all that was taken from him was a car.
Yes.
How was he killed? Was it by gunshot or beating, torture,
Yes.
or what do you know?
He was not tortured. He was one gunshot to his head. This was a murder. He was murdered in cold blood.
Right, I've seen that photograph, and ladies and gentlemen, that image is so bad for me to even put it on the screen here. So he was murdered by one gunshot on his head.
Yes.
All right, thank you for this information. Please keep me updated when you find out what happened to him, especially if you recover the jeep, if there is any new information. And again, please accept our condolences. We can assure you that this interim government, we will do everything that we can. We will do everything that we can to figure out if these killers were Ambazonia Restoration Forces, which I should say were not, because this struggle is not about attacking or killing our own civilians. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not. And anybody who goes after our civilians is no longer fighting our cause. He or she is fighting a cause different from that of Ambazonia. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
All right. Sorry about the poor quality of that call, ladies and gentlemen, but that was the brother, the immediate brother to this young man murdered in cool blood last night or early in the morning yesterday in Bafut. Now, let me say this, ladies and gentlemen. Bafut is becoming very, very notable for kidnappings, ransom takings, and killings. Bafut used to be one of the strangleholds for this struggle against La République du Cameroon. We used to have some patriots, nationalists, fighting in Bafut and setting examples. In fact, there was a time we could only call the BLM Bafut Ballet, Bui, ladies and gentlemen, as being the strongholds for La République du Cameroon. I mean, strongholds for Ambazonia against La République du Cameroon. But Bafut has since turned into a fief for terrorist fighters. If they are fighters, if I should even call them fighters. Anybody going about arresting civilians, harassing civilians, torturing civilians, abducting and taking ransom from civilians in Ambazonia is not fighting for Ambazonia. That is not part of this struggle. Civilians should have the right of passage everywhere in Ambazonia. Those of you out there fighting, nobody asked you to pick the gun and fight. You did so on your own. If you can no longer voluntarily do so without harassing civilians and torturing them and killing some and taking money from them, leave the bush. Leave the bush. If you no longer can do it with dignity, you leave the bush. It's just becoming so much. We hear it in Bali. We hear it in Bafut. We hear it all over the place in Ketunjia. This is wrong. It is not part of this struggle, ladies and gentlemen. And if we should find anyone, we don't care how good a soldier you have been, if you are one of those out there torturing civilians, killing civilians, again, we will have no mercy. We will show you no mercy. Anybody who kills qualifies to die. And we must stop this, especially in Bafut, And I really hope that the people who run Bafut, who manage Bafut, the LGA, listens to the sound of my voice. You got to do your job. You got to investigate incidences like this one. We cannot have our people killed in the hands of people who say they are defending Ambazonia. Civilians in that matter. This has to stop. And we, or all of us, must stop it. Again, if you are in Bafut, in Bamenda, and please, you have information that can lead us to the people who abducted and killed this young man. Ladies and gentlemen, please send us the information. Send us the information, and we will take care of it. Now, I move from that to another very, very sad incident. I'm talking here about the mother last Wednesday of the phone of issue. The mother last Wednesday of the phone of issue. Ladies and gentlemen, another sad mother. Another sad mother. We understand that the phone of issue was returning from a journey. I've forgotten where they said he was coming from. He was going back home in an entourage, including 2 of his wives. And he was attacked, they said, by unknown gunmen. He was attacked and killed. And one of the wives was also killed. They said by unknown, unidentified gunmen. However, ladies and gentlemen, the popular narrative out there says the phone of issue was shot to death, killed by Fulanese gun-touting supporters or residents of that community. The reason for which they killed the phone of issue, we are told, is because the phone of issue would not stop or apprehend Ambazonia restoration fighters. This is the narrative that we are beginning to get out there. I cannot independently confirm it, but that is the popular narrative that we are receiving out there, ladies and gentlemen. The phone of issue, it is important to note, was among the few phones. It was among the few phones still remaining in the villages in his fondom in Ambazonia. Now, you all will recall that most of the chiefs and phones in Ambazonia nowadays, they live in Douala or they live in Yaoundé. They abandoned their people to go live in La République du Cameroon. But the phone of issue wasn't one of them. He still lived among his people. He still trusted his people. He still served his people. He refused to go and live on exile in La République du Cameroon. And for that, La République du Cameroon sent Fulani Turks. They sent Bororo Fulani Turks to go after him, and they blew his head off with that of his wife last Wednesday while he was returning home from a journey. Let me make this very, very clear. Just as I stated in the killings of that young man, Longchi Claude, in Bafut, ladies and gentlemen, this interim government will hunt the killers of the phone of issue. This interim government will hunt the killers of the phone of issue. We have learned also that, again, this is an allegation. We cannot confirm it. But we are also hearing that these Mbororo Fulanese were sent by Douala to kill the phone of issue because they had quarreled over a piece of land in that community. Again, we cannot independently confirm this. These are just allegations that we are gathering as to what led to the killing, the murder of the phone of issue. Again, ladies and gentlemen, our phone number, my phone number in particular, is out there. Please, you find any information that can lead us to who carried out these dastard murders in Bafut and in Isu, please send us that information. We will do everything. We will employ everything within our power to make sure their killers receive their recompense. We will do that. So please, again, you have information leading to the killing of the Fon of Isu in Menchum County and the killing of Longchi Claude, ladies and gentlemen, in Bafut. Please get that information to me here at ABS. We will get it to the right quarters that will take care of those criminals out there who are there to mess and destroy this struggle, this God-ordained struggle for the actualization of the independence of Ambazonia. It is very, very critical, very, very critical. We will get them. We will get them. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I learned also happened this is what also happened. Listen to that. We have also learned, ladies and gentlemen, this is what also happened in Isu. I am told this happened in Isu. These cows were killed by the Mbororo Fulanis after gunning down the Fon of Isu. They went after cows belonging to indigenes of Isu, as you can find on your screen. Again, I cannot independently confirm this, but these images were forwarded to me. I am told this happened there. I cannot confirm it, ladies and gentlemen. Please take note, I cannot confirm that, but that is what I was told. We will confirm that on another occasion. But again, every one of you out there in Menchum County, please, you know the people directly responsible for the killing of the Fon of Isu. Please send that information to us. Send that information to us. Now let me take you to Douala. Something happened there in Douala over the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at this. Again, this happened in Douala. Take a look.
At first sight, one might think this is an area yet to be developed, but no, this is a locality in the economic capital city of Cameroon, Douala, which has been wrecked to soil level. We are at Essenge village in the Douala 1 subdivision, littoral region of the country, where over 2,800 families, individuals, children and animals have been left frustrated and homeless as they watch their houses, hospitals, schools, churches and mosques destroyed after so many years of their investments in this locality.
It was unfortunately, the schools, the hospital, in fact all what we had, the churches, everything, they put everything without giving a pin, and you right up to now, we don't even know, look at the whole. When mothers are crying, children are crying, everybody's crying, nobody even knows where it's going.
I just sold, I don't get no place on Figo. I don't picking them. I don't be for here for 20 years. I feel all the places where I use my money, I buy ground for fee, the lumber. They don't come broke with now. How they don't, you see how they so where they don't broke. We sleep now on top of the plank the way they don't broke.
For more than 35 years. And all my children are giving back to them here. And at the moment most of them school. The money that comes here. at the moment.
You see, they never go carry church. You don't go carry church to do.
You don't scatter my house, so see my thing them. I don't even know somewhere I go go. Look my picking them. Since Saturday, they don't scatter me, so I go go outside. I go go outside with my picking them. My picking them this. Since Saturday, we chop no nothing bread. We live on bread.
According to the victims, this village had been sold to elements of the seaport and were taken unaware without any compensation or relief material.
Nowhere, there's problem. Some of the refugees have come to many here. I'm lodging them in my house. But look at me now outside. Where am I going to keep them? Is that how we're going to be treated in Cameroon? Is that how we're going to be treated as orphans?
I get my woman, they get three. I get my woman to my two picking them. I don't know place for assistance and free go. So I don't know. Chile they said they will give you as a transport fare. Not you know the make the show now the whole quarter and that the whole quarter for bush. The whole quarter they for down. The whole quarter no man no get place to go. So no.
It is important to note that some individuals and families have spent the night outside for over 5 days now, while raising hopes high on where to go for shelter.
This is true with mercy, not as if we are animals.
They said they will give you as a transport fare. Not you know the make the show now the whole quarter and that the whole quarter for bush. The whole quarter they for down. The whole quarter no man no get place to go. So no.
It is important to note that some individuals and families have spent the night outside for over 5 days now, while raising hopes high on where to go for shelter.
This is true with mercy, not as if we are animals.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, that happened in Douala, in the southern Cameroon's neighborhood in Douala. These people were surprised. They got up in the morning and before they knew it, caterpillars were brought into the neighborhood and their houses razed down by a government that cares less about where her people live. Now, this was an exclusive neighborhood for Ambazonians, southern Cameroonians, as you could hear from them saying, we have so many refugees. They call it internally displaced, but we call them refugees if you are Ambazonian and you live in La République de Cameroon, you are not internally displaced, you are a refugee because you live in some other person's country. It is not your country. You are a refugee in Douala, in Yaoundé, in Garoua, in Bafoussam, Bunda, all those surrounding towns and cities in La République du Cameroon. La République du Cameroon came there, descended upon that neighborhood. We are told 2,800 families, ladies and gentlemen, living in that neighborhood. Their houses were torn down without any compensation. And some of them have lived there for years. That is all that they have. No compensation. As I speak, we do not know where they are. We do not know what has happened to them with their children. No idea. Yet, this is a country that would want everybody to believe everybody is a citizen. I don't know what would have happened if the majority of the people living in this neighborhood were Francophones Cameroonians. I don't know what would have happened to them. I have no doubt they would have been compensated before turning down their homes. But because they speak English, because they come from Ambazonia, in fact, don't be surprised, those homes were pulled down, that neighborhood was pulled down because Francophones, their hierarchy may be saying, this neighborhood is harboring terrorists from Ambazonia. Let's go and pull it down. Let's go and I won't be surprised at all if that was the case, if that was one of the reasons for which that neighborhood was torn down. But that's what they did. In those families, 2,800 of them, as I speak, wherever they live, we do not know. But that is a country they want us to live with them. They want everybody to believe that Southern Cameroonians are an integral part of the country. Whereas from treatment like this, we know Ambazonians, Southern Cameroonians, as second-class citizens in the country that they want to believe, they want to be told it's theirs. I hope that in the days ahead, the people who have been ejected from this neighborhood in Douala, the 2,800 of them, will be called and right compensation awarded them so that they can find a place for their families to call home once more. I hope that happens, and that is what a responsible government will do. Ladies and gentlemen, having said that, I will now take you to my monologue for today. I will take you to the monologue for today. And my monologue has to do with what took place in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. at the weekend. At the weekend, a meeting took place in Washington, D.C. that was summoned, ladies and gentlemen, by the impeached president. The impeached president, Dr. Samuel Ikomesako. And he tried calling it ASSC 2. I believe in your eyes, of course, there is no way it can be compared to the ASSC that took place in Germany. And you will know why in this monologue. Fellow Ambazonians, starting Thursday through weekend, I got the wrong monologue here, ladies and gentlemen. I got the wrong monologue here, I believe. Okay, let me take you back there. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was nothing close to what we knew, to what we know of the ASSC in Germany. It wasn't anywhere close. Starting Thursday through the weekend, Dr. Samuel Ikomesako gathered a handful of Ambazonians to an underground location in the state of Maryland, in what he called ASSC 2. It was the type of gathering you would describe as the biblical 203. 203 gathered together. Attendance and representation paled, literally paled, in the eyes of what ASSC should be and what the ASSC of 2019 conference in Berlin, Germany, looked like. A glance at the faces present at Sako's make-believe ASSC shows it was truly a concoction. Representation was absolutely lacking. Sako would love people to believe that Ambazonia was equitably represented there. That wasn't the case. No local governments. About 4 counties out of 13 sat in there. The ANSC had a few of their members in there too. And that was it. Compare this to ASSC Berlin in terms of attendance and representation. Sako's gathering becomes a complete mockery of what Ambazonia is. Throughout the conference, the faces that we saw in photo orbs were faces of people who surround Sako for the reason of their position in his impeach and remove government. And don't forget, what binds them together isn't really Ambazonia business. It is cryptocurrency and online affiliate businesses. But let me say this. Nobody, no Ambazonian was expecting Sako to put together a meeting that is truly representative of Ambazonia. The reason being that he has been vomited out by the people of Ambazonia, represented by the Restoration Council. Sako has no more powers to someone or for anything or anybody or any group in the name of President of Ambazonia. Ambazonians keep on reminding him that he is no longer considered leader of the interim government and the Ambazonian struggle, which explains the reason why he can no longer gather all of Ambazonia. It explains why his meetings were held in secret. But it also explains why Sako can no longer speak on behalf of Ambazonia. This is to say that everything that came out of Sako's ASSC, Maryland, should be discarded, considered inconsequential, irrelevant, a non-starter, dead on arrival, null and void. Ambazonians are looking forward to the real ASSC conference. It shall be convened in the months ahead by the legitimate leaders of the struggle and of Ambazonia. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, many people think that our new President Iya Marianta is too slow, has not been visible. Is actually not the case. She has actually been very, very busy, very engaged, recalibrating our structures. Iya Marianta is not slow. She is working. Ladies and gentlemen, our counties are being recalibrated, and so are the local government areas too. Our national treasury is under recovery. Our national website has been taken back. She shall be here on Wednesday to address the country on the way forward. After she's put the house back together, we shall then start looking forward to a proper ASSC, well constituted and representative of all of Ambazonia's structures. Until then, consider what you saw in Maryland over the weekend, a child's play. And that is my talking points, ladies and gentlemen. I am now joined by Dr. Anthony Epa, the one powerful man in our Restoration Council. Dr. Epa, it's a privilege to have you once more, sir. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Secretary Chris. I'm happy to be in your show, and I want to thank the Ambazonian people and the restoration forces, genuine restoration forces who are fighting for this war, and all the refugees in Nigeria, all over the world. I salute all of you. Hold fast. We shall get there and get our country back. Thank you very much.
All right. We are also being joined, ladies and gentlemen, by Bishop John. Bishop John, can you bend your camera a little bit, please? Bend it. Wonderful. Awesome. Again, we are being joined also by Bishop John. Bishop John, has been a while. Good to see you again, sir.
All the televiewers and everybody, Ambazonians in Ground Zero, Ground One, and all over the world, I greet you all.
Wonderful. All right. Dr. Epa, I will start with you, and I will start with this conference so-called conference in Washington, D.C., where Dr. Sako essentially was mimicking a conference, trying by all means very, very hard to get Ambazonians to believe he is still in charge, he is still the leader, he is still the president. Did it look like ASSC? Did it look like what we had in Berlin? In fact, let me get you some images here. Let's take a look, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the people that gathered in Washington, D.C. over Sako's ASSC. Look at that. Look at it. I want you to compare this with what happened, what took place in Berlin 2019, talking about the first ASSC. Now, first, look at Sako's ASSC there. That was over the weekend in Maryland. In Maryland. Again, that is Sako's own ASSC. Now you can literally count how many people were in that meeting, ladies and gentlemen. You can literally count how many people were in Sako's meeting. You can count them. You can count them. Again, that is Sako's ASSC. That is a man sitting there. Again, you can count them. I actually did a counting in a more wider photo, and there were 15 of them in that meeting. Of course, they will tell you that there were people in a Zoom meeting. But I have some statistics I am going to bring to you about how many people were actually in their Zoom meeting, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'd like you to compare this. Compare what you are seeing on your screen to this one, to Germany, ASSC. Look at Germany, ladies and gentlemen. That was ASSC, Germany. Look at the attendance in there. Not only the numbers, but the representation. Every local government in Ambazonia was represented at this ASSC in Berlin, Germany, 2019. Again, every LGA, every county, and every facet of the structures in the interim government were represented in this Berlin conference. That was the ASSC in Berlin. Not what we are seeing here, as I call it, a gathering of 1 or 2 or 2 or 3 are gathered together in Washington, D.C., in Maryland, ladies and gentlemen. Those were all the people. Now, before I bring back my team, my guests in here, I'd like to show you guys something here. I'd like to bring some statistics that I found, I came across, was actually forwarded to me from that Washington meeting. I'd like to bring them to you. Let me bring them to you. A breakdown of who was there. Okay. This is the information that was sent to me from somebody who made a careful analysis of what took place in Washington, D.C. He said, "Hello, Secretary Chris. This is the list of people in attendance of Sako's ASSC2. I just made an analysis after typing the attendance list on a spreadsheet. Participation was 468. Now, don't nod your head yet. Don't nod your head yet. Now, that is in theory. That is what the Sako people would want you to believe. That participation was a total of 468. But listen to this. The list of accounts, the list of people or machines, every machine, let me put it this way, every machine that logged into Sako's mission, the number was 232. 232. Now, out of 232 machines that were logged into that meeting, 120 was a duplication. 120 machines were a duplication. In other words, you had, if Chris Anu logged in with 5 computers, you saw Chris Anu on 5, different 5, you found Chris Anu on different screens, different Zoom screens, about 5 of them. So that's why he made the analysis here and said out of 232 machines logged into that Zoom meeting, 120 were a duplication. Now, the real number, the real value, the real people who logged into that meeting were only 112. Only 112, ladies and gentlemen. Now, it doesn't end there. But they have said that the number of votes cast at their meeting was 130. 130. Now, it will interest you to know this. Out of the 468 total people set to be at that meeting, 336 were robots. 336 were robots. Robots, ladies and gentlemen. Now, robots here would mean those other machines. Those other machines locked in to represent individuals. Now, so it says estimated participation was only, or average participation was only 94. A total of 94. 94. And out of 94, 62 of them came from one county, Mogamo. Did you get that? So when I say there was no representation, ladies and gentlemen, Sacco cannot call that an ASSC. It was a little cabal of himself and his cryptocurrency ring coming together to make sure that their business interest is taken care of. Dr. Epa, please, let me take you back to that conference. I'd like you to tell Ambazonians, please, you have seen the images coming from Berlin. You've seen the images coming from Berlin. And you saw what happened at the weekend. Can you please tell Ambazonians if indeed that was an ASSC meeting taking place in Maryland?
Secretary Chris, thank you for that question. Very important question. Can you hear me well?
I can hear you 5 on 5.
Correct. First, I want to say that Chenyo Achebe, in his novel Things Fall Apart, which I read more than 40 years ago, said, a drowning man can cling even to a serpent. A drowning man can cling even to a serpent. That is what Dr. Sacco just did. And that is what he has been doing since he was impeached and removed from his position as the president of Ambazonia. You cannot even compare what we have seen, the pictures of the Berlin conference and the ASSC 1 and the ASSC that is purported to be in Washington, D.C. You cannot compare those two. In fact, even if he had a good majority of the people, let's say the 468, it is still dubious because no one respects that. He has no authority, no standing as a president to organize any conference, and people were not even supposed to attend. All those people who attended, as you have rightly said, are business partners who are there to make sure that they deceive gullible Ambazonians. In fact, I don't care whether there were even 1,000 people there. It's still fake. Lies are lies. Truth is truth. And truth always prevails. In fact, when you look, let's say that it was, there were 468 as they claim to have. and 130 people voted for the Restoration Council, new Restoration Council, to be formed. According to them, they don't want permanent Restoration Council members like Honorable Chairman Kometa, and that they do not want members from country and regional regional coordinators also. Those are the members who elected him for him to be the president. And if he has to send, if he feel that he can just by a finger of hand send them away, they are swimming in a pool of blissful ignorance. And I want to say one more thing. Let's hope that there were 600 or 468. And if 100 people voted, then how many did not vote? Can we take that selection? They did not even say those who did not vote and those who abstained. You will see that, you know, they are not even researchers. Researchers will not even come out and do that. You know, when you are doing research and then you are doing a survey, you have to be very careful of the type of questions you ask for that survey. And when I see that type of thing, I throw it with a finger of hand, because I don't look at it. I see that's good statistics. Again, there's no leadership. I see how you are saying here about people being leaders. Of course, we can call people leaders, but what about leadership? We have transactional leaders, and transactional leaders can be divided into 3 or 4 types of transactional leaders. I used to feel that Dr. Sako was somewhat transformational leader, but I've come to believe that he's not a transformational leader. A transformational leader will not decide to dupe people in that form of a fake conference. Thank you very much.
All right, Bishop John, let me get to you. Get your take on that conference, please, Bishop John.
Thank you very much, Secretary Chris. Well, I think all Ambazonians know that Dr. Sako is fighting to put a face that has been taken away from him. We all know why he's fighting very hard, because from the evidences and everything that has been put out there, he has been depending on this revolution for his daily life, you know. And if you all of a sudden see that your food is going to be taken away from you, you have to put a fight. But my concern is those people who have used to acknowledge the evidences put out by the Restoration Council. They have not considered that as anything. I see many Ambazonians, some of them, not many, but some of them saying that they prefer to have a dictator to rule this revolution. There's a difference between a dictator who is patriotic and a dictator who is selfish. Sako is a dictator who is dictating for himself and to make money or food for himself. You have other dictators who dictate and they will do whatever it takes to make sure their country is doing well and their country is succeeding. You know, but that's not the case. So you see, what they call the ASSC, as we see, is nothing. He had to do this, whatever, to try to gain relevance, to fight the Restoration Council, to elect, as he said, they are going to elect a new Restoration Council, they are going to do a new Ethics Commission, all those things. He's just trying everything to fight the Restoration Council. That's all he's doing. And they are going to put out a fake group of people that are thinking that they rule Amazonia. It's just another case of somebody who has been impeached and he doesn't want to go alone, or he doesn't want to go. Yes, we understand that some of the people that are following him, they have no choice. They feel like if they don't follow him, they are going to lose all the money they have embezzled, or they are going to be exposed. Like some of the county or LGHS or LDL leadership that took their money and invested in the Bitcoin business. They don't feel anywhere to go. They can only find a solace or safety where. And that's why they are still hanging with him, because If they leave that now, their local governments are going to question them, and they are going to pay back all the money that they have taken and maybe lost in investing in failed Bitcoin deals. So I don't consider what took place in Washington, D.C. as being ASSC. We have just seen that of Berlin was, the spirit was there. The people were involved. They wanted to, and it was a something that involved the entire Amazonia. There was no rejection. But what Sako is doing is, in a divided environment, he's trying to find relevance, and he's trying to survive, and that he's doing everything possible to survive. So I don't really consider that anything said, Chris, and we should not be surprised by now, seeing all what Sako has been doing to stay relevant, of which is irrelevant at this time.
Yeah, absolutely not relevant, and we are not going to spend lots of our time talking about him and talking about all the fakeness that he is trying to do out there. But Dr. Epa, if I may come back to you, you are a member of the Restoration Council, a very powerful man, a very powerful one in that matter. We knew Sako was going to say over the weekend he has been given the powers to create a Restoration Council. They actually did, and they gave it a name that I don't even want to pronounce. Tell Amazonians, please, about the illegality of that their so-called house of what they call it.
Secretary Chris, thank you again for that question. That's a very good question. I don't even want to call that name. I do not even know that name. I just decided not to even think about it, because there is no house like that as the Restoration Council. The Restoration Council is one council. Members who were disgruntled, supporting Sako blindly, many of them Momo cartels, decided to go and join them, and they can withdraw. We don't even care about that. You know, the Restoration Council still remains Restoration Council. He can form what he wants to form, and thinking that the Amazonian people are so stupid that they believe that that is the real Restoration Council. And then that's why I say that he is swimming in a pool of blissful ignorance. So why do I even waste time with that? The Restoration Council has impeached and removed him. It's the same Restoration Council that brought him in power. Anyway, and at that time the members were even fewer. All those other misguided former members of the Restoration Council, like the secretary, the former Secretary General, we have removed her, so they can go and form their own Restoration Council, and then they can go ahead with it, and then we'll see in subsequent years or months, see what is going to happen. You know, it is baseless even talking about it, because every Amazonian should know by this time the major reasons why he was impeached and removed. The first major reason or charge was that he planted spies in a committee, the Government Affairs Committee, investigating his office. And when he got the audio, he did not keep it for himself, maybe to prepare for a case when we called him, so that he could make a good case, maybe bring his attorney with him. He went and called members. He created what he called extended cabinet forum, where he included people like myself, included all the other chairmen of the local government areas and county chairs, and put them there, dumped them inside there, and even he even put some members of the Restoration Council. I was the one who, when he called me, and I spoke with him, I said, Mr. President, why are you including the Restoration Council members in your cabinet meeting? Are they cabinet people? Are they executive members. He said, no, I did not know that. I said, Professor Ayim included them. I read it for him. Horrible comment was put inside there by Professor Ayim. Dr. Lobati, Winnie Lobati was put inside there by Professor Ayim. Honorable Chris Ajwa, the vice chair of the Restoration Council, was included. I said, why do you put them in here? Are they executive members? I said, I can understand if my name is there because I'm also the chairman of Nguti local government area. I can understand that. But what dealings do these people have here? But I was shocked in that meeting when he went and played part of the audio that his vice president made under oath. That is a sacrilege. That is why Richard Nixon resigned from the United States. He did not even play the tape, Richard Nixon, but because it was leaked that he planted spies in the Congress. He was forced to resign. Here, an Amazonian, a president who is living in the United States, who should know all these things, he went and played. He was trying to act fast to deceive Amazonians that people are just against, that the Restoration Council is just against him. That is number one. Number two, he decided to call people who are not even vetted to his so-called extended cabinet. Call members of the restoration, call members in the LGAs and all over, including the counties, and attempted to dissolve the Restoration Council. Who does that? Even in La République, where La République's constitution says that, and even France, that the president coming into an agreement with the president of the parliament can dissolve the parliament. Biya has never done that. And here we have a president who will decide to dissolve the People's House, the People's Parliament. This guy has been joking. He does not know what he's doing.
All right, Dr. Let's not get deep into that because I think we know the irrelevancy of what Sako has done. Let us get to the person who is in charge. I am talking about Iya Marianta. I'm talking about Iya Marianta. She is the person who is in the picture now. She is in charge at the moment. Wednesday, she will be here to formally address Amazonians for the first time. Many people out there would think that she has been so slow, not saying anything since inauguration, but she has done quite a lot. If you listen to my monologue presentation, I said she is putting the counties and the LGAs back together. I think quite a number of LGAs have already been reconstituted. As far as the counties are concerned, we know that only FACO, the BLM, and which other one have been with this interim government since Sako. Of course, there are others that are out there standing, having both of their legs on both sides. But FACO, the BLM, and I think Momo too. Momo, yes, Momo, and which one? These are the counties that have from day one identified with the legitimate interim government. But the AGS are being reconstituted. She has been fighting to recover our national treasury. Our website, many people don't understand the importance of a website in the struggle such as ours, but it is very, very critical. That website is much more important than money that we have in the bank, ladies and gentlemen, because that is the gateway to Ambazonia. People want to find out who we are, what we are up to, what we are doing, where we are driving to. It is from that website, and we could not afford to see the image of Sako stay on that website for one more day and Iya Marianta Forhad and her picture instead of that of Sako is now on that website, and everything referencing to the leadership of the interim government is Iya Marianta's. Of course, Sako will remain quoted as former president or removed president. But I'm saying this to say, for those who think that, oh, she has been slow, she's not been visible, she's not been seen, I like people to know what she has been doing. Again, on Wednesday, she will be out to formally address Ambazonians. Let me come to you, Bishop John. There are lots of expectations out there. What would you expect Iya Marianta to say when she comes on Wednesday to address Ambazonia? Bishop John.
Yes, thank you very much, Secretary Chris. As we were talking about our president, Mrs. Marianta Njomya, I was smiling because I know that it is a new dawn for Ambazonia, and with this, our new president, who is first, has a full-time job, number two, very, very engaged, has been involved in this revolution from the onset. Number three, somebody who has shown very good fruit with diplomatic contacts, especially in the United Kingdom. You know, on the forefront of our Unmasked project. She has been leading the leadership in Ambazonia, in Europe, in the UK. This woman has the resume to be our leader. You know, not somebody who we are not going to be paying her house rent. We are not going to be giving her money for food. Asako alone was sweeping 6,000 US dollars, 3 million francs every month from restoration money, while you have fighters. You have, Secretary Chris, you have fighters being amputated because of the lack of 100,000, fighters dying because they cannot be treated because of lack of money in different parts of Ambazonia, and one person was consuming over 6,000 US dollars every single month, plus other money that were going into his hands that have not been were not being accounted for. That is somebody who is working for himself, not for this country. So I'm very happy for our new president. What I'm expecting that she is going to be addressing, Secretary Chris, is she's going to be addressing the nature of defense in Ambazonia. I strongly believe that on Wednesday, she's going to be saying something about the recalibration of the Ambazonia Restoration Forces and the focus that her presidency is going to put on self-defense in Ambazonia. I am expecting that. Then also, I am expecting that she's going to be saying something about a strategic fundraising program that is easy and is going to be able to, it's going to raise enough money for us to be able to tackle the take on self-defense in all of Ambazonia. These are two aspects that I'm seeing that going to be doing, and I will not be surprised if she also have to say something about diplomacy, because she who has proven herself in the area of diplomacy. So I expect that she's going to be saying something on diplomacy, and also expect that she's going to be announcing some of her new appointees, some of the people that she has appointed to lead in different part of the government, or to the team that she has put together to lead Ambazonia in this transitional period. So those are some of the things that I'm expecting that she's going to say, Secretary. Thank you.
You have been there for quite a while, Bishop John. In this interim government, what would you expect her to do differently from the outgone president, Samuel Ekomesako?
Yes. What I will expect Madam President to do, differently from what President Sako did, is consultation. President Sako failed. President Sako, I think he already had his calculated plan. When he started, he was doing very well. But somewhere around 2 years in his office, he started listening to people and started just doing things. He started dictating. He would come to a cabinet meeting and just speak, and people make decisions. At one point, when cabinet member call for meeting, he will say, "It's my meeting, it's my cabinet." You will hear him saying that you work for me, not for Ambazonia. I've not seen that. He appointed people and he said they work for him, not Ambazonia. I want people to really go and reference this very well to see that the reason the Restoration Council has to vet cabinet appointees is because they want to make sure these people are people who are going to serve the interests of the country, not the interests of the individual that has appointed them. If that was the case, there need to be no vetting. There need to be no vetting, you know. But Sako took cabinet appointees as his employers. He employed people, but he was the one being paid. People were working, but he was the one being paid. Can you believe that? So I expect Madam President to consult with the people that he sees as professionals so that they can give him advice. President Sako had a very formidable presidential advisory committee, but he never took any advice from them. I expect Madam President to be able to listen to the advice of people that he has chosen to be around him. In the multitude of counsel, there is wisdom. That's what the Bible says. You know, you alone cannot be wise. Sako thought that he was so wise. Every time you come, let me educate you. Let me educate you. And you're educating us and quoting false, telling all lies about the Constitution. But anyway, he did a good thing. He made many of us to go back to the Constitution and to read the Constitution and saw things for ourselves that were not there. Sometimes when Sako speaks, people just make the assumption that he's right because they don't go back to look into things and to do the research. But you have to always go back to look. I am expecting that Madam President will not walk in that same footstep, but she'll be consultative, just I have seen her already doing right now. She's consulting different departments. Even as we speak now, she's talking to the defense team, to the ANSC, and I think she's going to do a great job. If she cannot just, I expect her to do it differently, just as I've said.
All right. Thank you. Dr. Ipa, again, this is the first time we are having a lady president for, not just for a country, but for a struggle as ours. Many people are waiting to see what she's able to do differently from the man, or let me put it, the men who have been ahead of her. What are you looking for in this woman?
Secretary Chris, thank you again very much. I think Iya Marianta, our president, is very dynamic. I've worked with her with the Unmasked program. She's based on what she has done before. She's going to, we didn't waste time to vet her and actually say that she should be the president of Ambazonia. We know the way of the Restoration Council. We know that she's going to do very well, and all our advice is that let she be consultative, with the stakeholders in order to make sure that the decisions she makes, they should be shared decision making, and not single-handedly making a decision like what the previous president was doing. I think she's going to do very well because she has begun doing it very well now because she's consulting with a lot of other stakeholders for them to work together, which is quite good. And with the restoration forces, I'm sure that they are going to hear her voice and they're going to pick up the steam wherever things were left behind because they have been so frustrated. Money cannot be donated, and the money will not reach the hands of the restoration fighters. FACO, for example, No PT, for example, FMA of Amazonia, in the BLM, for example, and where did that money go to? So it becomes very questionable, and that is why La Republic has been laughing, thinking that things are coming to a stop, but they'll be surprised. And I want to advise the La Republic people, and especially the enablers who call themselves from Southern Cameroon, to be very, very careful. Very, very careful. Now it's a lady. In Africa, you hardly get women being the president. Now Ambazonia has a lady who is a president. The world now knows what Ambazonia is out for. We are out for independence, right? Independence. And our independence will not be the type of independence of La République. La République is only, it's not independent. It's actually a region under France. So I think she's going to do a good job. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Let us hope that she does such a great job, and we are looking forward to addressing us on the Wednesday to formally outline what she thinks she can accomplish between now and August before there is a transition. Now, I take you over to some of the issues I brought up here earlier in the show. I talk about the killings in Bafut, the killings in Esu Womb. Bishop John, let me come to you about Bafut in particular. We are learning that these killings took place within the territory that is controlled in Bafut by one General Tiger. Do you know this guy, and what is his resume in this struggle, sir?
Secretary Chris, General Tiger is somebody that you and I have addressed on this television when we came out and spoke very seriously against him and the work he was doing. And after, you remember that after we addressed General Tiger and I think 5 others, that kidnapping died down in Bafut.
Correct.
And it's because of this instability that the former President Sako is doing that. I think that people are taking this opportunity to do what they are doing. But General Tiger has been a criminal. He's somebody that they're going against the re-restoration forces in Bafut, disarming them and arresting them, taking their weapons. So these are reports that we have gotten from Bafut. This guy does not have a very good resume. And if I would not be surprised that General Tiger is involved with the killing of this wonderful young man that has been killed, I would not be very surprised. But I want to let Amazonians know that this new president who is coming, I hope and I believe that with the new team she's going to put together, we are not going to do as we did last time. Secretary Chris, look, I'm one of those people who have been very vocal against kidnapping, against all this killing of our own fighters, the infighting among the restoration forces. I am one of those people who believe that General do what is wrong, we call him out. But some people think that, oh, when General do wrong, we cannot call them out because they're on the ground. Has it worked? For the few times that we came this and called people out, it worked. It worked. Yes. But their own way has not worked. It's instead worse. I get numerous complaints from Ground Zero, from ARFs, complaining about the infighting, secretaries, from Fako to Dongamantu to Momo to Menchung to Bui to Ngokuntunja, Mesam, Kupe Manibuba, Meme, you name it, all of it, you have this infighting. But we don't do anything about it. And I've come to realize that some of these commanders are being supported by the diaspora, and that's why they don't want to call them out. And some of the people who have been in diaspora have been involved in dirty business with some of these commanders on the ground. They don't want to say something like this, Chris. They don't want to come and say something like this. People using ARF to fight their personal fight, farms, plots, businesses, they use ARF for those dirty works. And tell me why this ARF will not become like this. But anyway, we are saying that whoever is doing this in Bafut, we will call them out. And I hope that this new defense posture going forward will have a real solution to address these criminals who are in Ambazonia, destroying the image of our restoration forces, going against our citizens. Our citizens. These are not even blacklegs. Eh? You cannot prove this guy. This guy, they have not even given any report. This guy was a blackleg or nothing like that. If he was a blackleg, somebody can understand. This is not good. You know, most of our people have turned their back on this revolution, not because they don't want to support this revolution. It's because of what some of the criminal men, people carrying guns, have done to them. Secretary Chris. It's because of the criminal actions that have been committed to these people. That's why they have turned their back on the revolution. But I pray that with this new president, with a new dawn, with somebody who is not going to be compromising and taking millions from the Republic, selling our revolution, we will be able to call a spade in this revolution, and whoever commander, be it who, I don't care if you have been the shining star in the past, if you turn your back against Ambazonian, you start killing Ambazonian instead of fighting the Republic, we will call you out. And I hope we will have the mechanism to hunt you and get you wherever you are. That's what I can say, Secretary Chris.
Bishop John, what can you make of the killing of the son of Esau? Because I don't know what you've gathered. All information lead to the fact that he was killed by Mbororo Fulanis in that community. What do you know?
Let me tell you, Secretary Chris, the killing of the Esau is a very big loss to Ambazonia. I have spoken with this fund before. This fund has called me when they had an issue about the Restoration Council during the time where they wanted to do that World Development, UNDP or whatever, United Nations Development.
Yeah, UN development thing, yes.
Yeah, they wanted to go and do something in Menchimdede Road. He called to get consultation with the interim government, and I actually spoke with him. This is the fund that is working, listening to his people, working for the interest of his people, not for the interest of a government. A fund is supposed to be serving the interests of his greater population or his population rather than a foreign government. This is a very big loss for Ambazonia. This fund was somebody who was listening to us. When we advised him and spoke to him, it was actually connected to me by Pastor Jude, who is in the UK, to talk because he wanted to hear from the Secretary of Defense at that time. And I spoke to him very well, and we gave him the advice, and hereby he has always been with his people. The Ambazonian Restoration Forces know about him and what he's doing. He's not somebody that we have been involved in dirty works with La Republique and or with Ambazonia. No, he has just been there as a leader for the people to serve the people. And La Republique don't like this kind of people. Let me tell you, Sir Chris, this is not that kind of chief who will go among the other people in the northern zone and go and say that they want Pobia to get another mandate. Can you believe this? This is not the kind of chief or the kind of fund. This is a very big loss to Ambazonia. These are the caliber of people we want to be in Ambazonia to take care of our culture, our tradition, and our people. And the Republic is going after these people. Those people who did this crime, we should teach them a lesson. They should be rewarded for the evil they have done to us in Ambazonia by killing the son of Esau. I am telling you, those Bororo people, whoever they are, and whoever sent them, they will not go free for this. They will pay sooner or later for what they have done. And Amazonians should know this was a good fund. He listened. If this fund was dirty, he would not be staying with his people, Secretary Chris. You look all those funds who have escaped, these are criminals. Yes. These are people who are eating money from La Republique and have run away. That's why La Republique had to kill this man, because he's not taking side with them. All those other funds who have run again, taking money from La Republique and trying to serve La Republique in interest in Ambazonia against the will of the people. Those are evil funds. Let them stay there in La Republique on exile. Even after Ambazonia, they will not come back. We'll have to get new chiefs or new funds.
Now, talking about La Republique giving money to kill key people, we have learned of something that is happening in Kupe Moniguba. Dr. Epa, you should be very much aware of this, and Bishop John, you are also aware of it. I want to put some images on the screen here. Dr. Epa, please take a look. Give me the name of this man. This is a man that I learned La Republique is using. La Republique is using in Kupe Moniguba to hunt our restoration fighters. to get them down. This is another, I think this is one of them, I guess. If I'm wrong, you correct me again. These young men or men, these are individuals La Republic is employing in Kupe Manunguba to use to hunt our restoration fighters in Kupe Manunguba. Dr. Ipa, please tell us what you know about these people.
Secretary Chris, it's long since I left that country. I don't know most of them, but I heard about, I don't know who is who there, but I know that there is one who is called Kangaki, taking the name of late Honorable Isu Kangaki of Nguti, and some of them are here in the United States. There are those who tell the boys when we send money, said, get the money and don't fight. Just get the money and don't fight. And we put anything on the forum. I remember I put certain things on the forum. The next 2 days, one of the fighters sent it to me. I was shocked how the fighter got the information. And I made sure that that Zoom, the Zoom was cleared of people who were not actually supporting the struggle. There are some of them are actually in Yaoundé and in Douala, especially most of the chiefs. And Secretary Chris, I will tell you that this thing started from Bangam local government area, where their minister there called Elum Poche, called all the chiefs and their native doctors together and asked their boys to put down their weapons. And Bangam since 2019 has never fought. And Tombe has been trying to fight, but most of the fighters there too, they were eliminated and they are just struggling to come up. In Guti, we have lost a lot of boys. In one village, 22 boys have been killed. And I just understood again a few days ago that information has come that all the natives, all the villages should go to the forest and hunt our restoration forces, those who are genuine to this revolution. I know that in Guti there are some who are not genuine. Some are just there for ransom taking, as we have said, as you indicated here, and Bishop John said it. Some are not, some used to fight well, but now they have turned, they are doing a very bad job. Motivated by these people in abroad and others who are in Yaoundé and Douala, who give them money, telling them to be against the real restoration forces. That is the dilemma we have in Kupe Maninguba and in Guti in particular, where I come from.
Now, Dr. Epa, this guy, they call him Oki Lucas, the man whose face you find on the screen, Oki Lucas, we are told that sends money to Ambazonia Restoration Forces to stop them from fighting, so that, of course, they can maintain their one and indivisible Cameroon. How much do you know of this guy you see on the screen?
Okay. Yeah, I don't know them, but I know that someone like Okay Lucas. We have.
Well, actually, this guy is Njang Ekangaki. Njang or Kangaki.
Okay, I've never met with him. Yeah, I've never met with him, but I know the name. He's the president of Nguti Youth. All over Amazonia who are out, and I hear on their forum, there are more than 300 of them, and they don't want to hear about this independence quest. They want to tie themselves to Yaoundé. They are doing businesses in Amazonia, And meanwhile, others are spending their own money trying to bring them independence. I don't know how people cannot understand the importance of independence and for you to remain a slave.
Now we
Yet,
understand that this particular guy would call the men in Nguti and get them to enter the forest in search of Ambazonia restoration fighters.
yeah, that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. But I'll tell you, Secretary Chris.
And this Oki Lucas guy is the one sending money to the boys or to the fighters to leave the bush.
Yeah, I think both of them, they do that. I've gotten that report. And when they do not send the money again, the boys turn against them and they start doing dirty job. For example, some of the boys whom they used to send money to, because they were not sending money any longer, the boys decided to be taking ransom. They even went to their house in Boka, burned the house, and one of them wrote to us in a forum. We replied that we are not in control of those boys in Miami, and they didn't believe any bad thing which is done. They always say it's Dr. Epa who has done it, but they are the cause of all these things. How could people be fighting for independence and others don't see it because they benefit from the system which they have right now? It's a shame.
Bishop John, tell us, what do you know? Because I know you are partly informed about what is going on in Nguti.
Yes, Secretary Chris. Secretary Chris. I'm well informed about what is going on in Nguti and Kupe Maninguba.
Okay.
Being the Secretary of State for Self-Defense and Security since about how many years ago, I've always been involved. Even when I was not the Secretary of State, I still remain in contact with many of the commanders on the ground because many of the generals and commanders, they have to contact me for advice and for counsel, and I have still been very active with them. And I'm in communication with the generals and the commanders in Nguti right now. I want to just, first of all, before I come into this, to let you know that, just like Dr. Epa have said, there's no fighting going on in Bangem. There's some, Tombe has been struggling to stand. But Nguti has been the only one in Kupe Maniguba that has been trying to keep the fire going. And Secretary Chris, something happened. What these people are trying to do is what happened not long ago. Nguti used to have a fierce fighting force in Kupe Maniguba. And the indigenes in partnership with some of those in the diaspora, even some former chairpersons, they had to connive and get some of this area to be killed. The people came on like this and surrounded the area. The ARF could not kill these people because they know they were their people. But these people came to kill them, surrounded these people and killed them. Sometimes 17, and right time 5.
How long ago was that?
I think that was about a year and almost 2 years ago, Dr. Epa. Can you confirm
this? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Dr. Chris. This is a very big matter that even went into investigation. Some of the IG members are being involved, complacent in some of these deals, and it's a serious investigation that we have to take on when we get to Ambazonia, because we understand that some people who were actually in the government had some role to play in the killing of these people.
You mean, which government are you referring to? The government of Ambazonia or the government of La Republic?
Ambazonia.
Okay.
Yes, there are people who in Ambazonia and they don't want fighting to be going on in their villages. And so they will take part against ARF who are trying to keep their village up just because maybe their uncle or their auntie or their somebody is involved in the government, and people just want their area to be cool like this. This is what is happening. Now, this man you see that you have on the screen here, living there, is called Njang Ekengaki. Yes. He told people in Nguti to go and rally and find the boys. It doesn't matter where they are, even if they're in the bush, the same thing that they did before. They want to go and find these guys no matter where they are in the bushes. These guys, sponsoring the hunting of Ambassador Restoration Forces. Look at his face. This guy, I think, is in the United States. He's in the United States, I think in Maryland somewhere. Look at him.
Oh, this guy, Kamaki guy, this in the United States.
Yes, in the United States. Put the other face up with a wide mouth like that. This is Okia Luta Sinke. He sends monies for boys to stop fighting. And he wants the indivisible Cameroon. These are people who have interest in the Republic of Cameroon and they don't want to lose their interest in the Republic of Cameroon. These are people who are sending money and fighting against this revolution against our India. Look at his face very well, Ambazonia. When you see this individual somewhere, know that these are the criminals, the enemies of Ambazonia, who are in Ambazonia, or who are Ambazonia. See him right there. Now, this one, Secretary Chris, is called Oki Johnson Ndor. He's supposed to be the chief of hydrocarbon in Cameroon. And he's the one financing everything and financing fake boys, financing the killing, and financing every anti-campaign against Ambazonia. These are the people who want Kupe Maninguba to stay with Cameroon, or who don't want any fighting or any independence to happen in Kupe Maninguba and in Ambazonia. These are the criminals. These are the people. And let me tell you, going on, Secretary Chris, we are going to be calling out those individuals and the interim government. I've heard, but it's not verified, that the former chairman of Mbuti is also involved in this scheme. This scheme, making as if he's with us, but playing with our Republic and trying to destroy.
Who is the former chairman of Nguti?
The former chairman of Nguti, I think his name is Ernest Ebong Fonchelala.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So this is what some of the Nguti people have told me. This we will have to do investigation, Secretary Chris. We will have to do investigation of some of the people who call themselves that they're in the interim government or they are fighting for this revolution, but they are actually agents of the devil. That's why you see when information are posted in forums, they leak out. There are some people who are actually among us who are not with us with all their heart. They are just there to do this, to cover up. You understand? So, Dr. I expect that when you come on TV like this, you should be saying things the way they are. You should be calling these people out in your country. We cannot be sparing these people. We cannot be sparing them. We have been sparing them for 5 years. It has not worked. We need to be calling people out. Even I myself, if my family is doing something, you will call them out. I don't care. Call them out. You know, we should not instead go to involve in many games, but while we know information and things that are happening, I would not want to call these individuals out. We will be calling them out. Say, Chris, let me tell you, there's terrible thing going on ground zero. A commander told us in a meeting a couple of days ago in Fako that now the sticks that they have, they are using it to defend themselves from other ARF, from other fighters, because of the infighting that is going on. You know, he said all the titles and names that we have given people, it is coming to destroy us. All these generals, field marshals, and all these things. I am saying something that has been said by a commander, and not only one commander has told me this. Many commanders from Northern Zone, Southern Zone, from the Savannah region, Midland, and Equatorial, they have told me this. I have many in records. Sir Chris, we even have investigation that has been stalled of one chief kingpin in Sako government who has been siphoning money and using the name of this commander. This commander had to cry for me for what this guy did to him. You know, all these things have to be investigated. We know that there are people who are perpetrating this crime in Ambazonia and trying to destroy our struggle, and we say we don't have to call them out. We will call you out.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be called out, do clean work. That's it. And we'll call you out with evidence. We are fetching with those evidence. And some of these commanders are very bold. There are some of them, Senator Chris, for the safety of those commanders, because of all these things that is going on, we have not been able to bring out some of this information out so that those commanders or those fighters who are telling us, giving us this evidence can be safe, because there are people in the diaspora actually planning and orchestrating the killing of some of the people on ground zero. This is a fact, Secretary Chris.
Well, let's do the investigation and get their identities out, and then see we can also talk to them. Dr. Epa, you're dying to say something there. Go on.
Yes, I think Bishop John has done a very good research to have those names. I didn't know the faces because I've not met with them. but I know Mr. Okia Johnson Ndor, who is in Yaoundé. Recently, he was in Poka, which is a village before you get to Gucci. The brother died and he came there. I know that I've met with him in Yaoundé in 2017. When I went there, no, 2007, when I went there for the parliamentary elections. Since then, I've not seen him again. And in fact, Bishop John, I want to thank you so much. What you are saying is very correct. You see, what I've heard from Gucci, of they trying to bring juju, that is, we call it Mwanku, which the head of that juju is in Loambo, where I come from. Not in Basosi, not in Bangamotombe, but the head of it is in my place. I know it better than what they know. And for them to say that they are going to threaten to go to the bush, to all those forests, and hunt for the boys who are genuine for this fight, is a very big issue that we'll see who is going to succeed. Let them try it. Let them try it, and they will see what is going to happen. Explosive will get them. I want to make it very clear. Explosive will get them. And anybody who is trying to go to the forest, for you to go and, according to you, want to hunt for the boys, go. And you'll get it. You'll get it. Because,
let me add.
No, let me, Bishop John, let me say something. I've understood. Mr. K. Johnson called for a meeting in Yaoundé. They call it Ngufkuda, which I think Nguti Cultural and Development Association or so. And a lot of people attended. What was the aim? Now that you said that Ngongo is going to be is purported to be the vice president, all of them are trying to buy their positions to see whether he can be made a minister in Guti. And all the people who came to Yaoundé obviously are taking pictures to show Ngongo and the rest, oh, I'm the man in Guti. Meanwhile, our boys are dying. Their parents have lost their children. Who is going to bury their parents when their parents are old and die? But the boys, the young people, have been killed. Now they are trying to kill more. But their children are being saved in Yaoundé or somewhere else overseas. And these guys are here, some of them who are here, like a Kangaki and okay, somebody that you said, Funke. If America did not fight for their own independence, we would not have been here. They would not have been here making a lot of money. Okay. But there are those who have decided that, oh, they want to remain with La Republic. I've never seen how people have been brainwashed. This very Kangaki, the father was my PTA president in Guti. Very nice man. And I don't think if Honorable Zo Kangaki was alive, he would decide to hand the Nguti forest, the Nguti land, to the hands of Beti people. And they wouldn't. It's a shame that people want to remain slaves instead of having independence. It's a regrettable, a very, very regrettable situation indeed.
All right. Bishop John, you wanted to say something before I open the phone lines.
Yes.
Go on, please.
Yes, Sir Chris. I want to say this. These people who say they want to go after the ARF in Guti, I guarantee you, no one of them will be free. If they want to bring condemnation to themselves and their family, let a single ARF lose his life because of what they are trying to do. Let me tell you, whoever is going to be the Secretary of State for Self-Defense and Security in Ambazonia, I will make sure he gets this message and this continue. The defense team in Ambazonia, I will make sure, and the entire head of Ambazonia, they will get this information, and these people who are involved and their families will pay the price. So if you are a family member to any of these individuals, I pray you start calling them. Let them change side. Let them watch themselves, because these your brothers and uncles and friends, they are going to bring evil to you. Because if a single ARF lost his life in Booty because of these criminals, then the God of this heaven is not alive, because we will hunt them and we will kill them. That's it.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Let us, at this moment, open the phone lines and take a few calls from ground zero and find out what is happening there, what is their take on these issues that we bring to them today. Ladies and gentlemen, the phone lines are open. Go ahead, call the number you have on your screen to make your contribution. But before you call, please make sure that your phone, your television set, the volume is turned down. Make sure the volume of your set is turned down before you call. The lines are open. We'd like to hear from you. We'd like to get your take on what is going on. Let me see. It appears I got a message here from an informant on ground zero about issue. Now, before we do this, can you guys just quickly, in 1 minute each, give me your take on what you think is happening in La République du Cameroon with the creation of the post of the vice president? I mean, that has never been. Bishop John, what is your take on that? What do you think they are trying to do?
Said Chris, to be honest with you, that's not my cup of tea. I think that one should go to Dr. Epa, who is an administrator, because into deep things, only in Ambazonia where I just enter, all I know is defense. So all the other politic things and why they have to, it not really, it's not something for me, and I don't know. But if I should say something, say it is just.
All right, hold on there, Bishop John. Hold on there. Let's get this caller before we get back to that. Okay. Hello.
Hello, Secretary. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. May I know where you are calling from, please?
Yeah, I'm calling from Kumba.
From Kumba, okay. How was Ghost Town in Kumba today?
No, it was not really bad. We saw some people trying to be dishonest, but it went good down in Fiangwa and everywhere. Anyway, it was fine. The Ghost Town went really good.
Good.
It was not bad.
We know Kumba will not disappoint us. Kumba will never take last in this struggle. So what is in your mind, sir?
I have three things to say. First, I want to appreciate you for everything you are doing. And we on Ground Zero, we really enjoy it, and we thank you for every effort you all are putting in, Dr. Epa and everybody out there, and the new president. We appreciate that, and thank you also. One of the things that I really appreciate again is the pictures of the sellouts that you just put up from the Kupema Ninguba County. You know, sometimes this sellout is good to put their pictures up there so that we on Ground Zero, we might meet them one-on-one one day somewhere.
Right.
And we just take them out without them knowing. So it's good to always put up their pictures up there. So as we are going around, we know we have their pictures with us. We can meet them somewhere unexpectedly. It doesn't really mean that it's the fighters who have to take them out. You know, any Ambazonian citizen can take them out where you meet them one-on-one somewhere. You never know. So anything can happen. So really putting their pictures out there is very important for us.
Okay.
Then, I have another thing to say about Mr. Ngua, John Ngua. He has been in this government for so long. We've been observing him. He was part of the scandals of my trip to Boya. And I understand that a lot of things have happened and times have gone by. But Secretary Chris, we are trying to create a new government and everything. And I hope our new president, have to put these things to consideration. We can't put old wine in a new bottle. We always, since we want to clean the house and do things properly, I believe we should select some new faces, and people will suspect it, like John Ngewa for the my trip to Boya. He was a Secretary of Defense. A lot of things happen. I know he can talk good. He talk really strong. I respect him. I respect his effort for this. But it's a lot of things on him that I believe he deserves to answer. And if he answers these things, we have to give space for some new people. Let's build something new. Like we already said, you came up with the thing. You came up with the deal of creating a new of replacing the new interim government that we're doing. So we need new people, fresh people that can carry on, and without scandals that will make people feel discouraged. Respect to everybody. That's the input I want to put in.
Let me give him the opportunity 1 minute to respond to you. Thank you for the call.
Yes, thank you, Sir Chris.
Bishop John, sir.
Yes, thank you very much, Sir Chris, and thank the caller for what they are saying.
Okay.
Yes, thank the caller for what they have said. He said that I was involved in a scandal, my trip to Boya. They have always called my name because I was the Secretary of State for Defense. But one thing I want the caller to understand is that as a Secretary of State, I was never involved in collecting money. All they did was give me money, or I had to organize the money to move from one place to the other. And that's exactly what happened. So if you want to say that I was involved, call Hassan and say that, Egiawan was supposed to make money to go from point A to point B, and that money never got the money. Have you got anything like that? I was never getting money and then disbursing money. I was always involved in the money going where it was supposed to go. So if you want to say that Egiawan has eaten money, then you have to come with evidence that money was supposed to go to Mr. Peter, and Mr. Peter came and complained that money never went to them. That's how you can get it. Then secondly, in my trip to Boya, one of the only government members of one of the that were audited, and I had to surrender my bank account to the audit committee that scrutinized my bank account and answered to everything. And they saw that I even spent my own money, over $3,000, on top of what passed through me to go to the government. These people don't understand. You have to know that moving money from America to ground zero is not a cup tea or a cupcake. No, it's not an easy thing. So it takes a lot of involvement, a lot of different instruments to move those things. And some people are placed to be able to move these things. So because the people were involved doesn't mean that automatically the people are guilty. My friend, I appreciate what you are saying, but so far as Egiawan is concerned, he's a very honorable citizen of the United States and Amazonia. He's somebody who earns his own living, has his business, and is somebody who has a very good pay, handsome pay from the United States government for serving as a U.S. Army veteran. So I don't need Amazonia money. I'm not a person who have been employed who doesn't have a job. So please, before you say something or you start to say something like that, it is good that there must be evidence. Not anybody who is just accused is guilty. Talk about the numerous evidence that have been put out there against Sako, that you can talk. But bring one evidence against John Egiawan. Bring one evidence, against John Egiawan. Then you can say what you are saying. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Let's get to our next caller here. Hello.
May I greet you and your panelists over there?
Thank you, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Maryland.
Okay. All right. You quickly, sir, so we can get to other callers. What is in your mind?
I will be very quickly, and that is the issue in the Republic is what happened to Southern Cameroon when Ahidjo wanted to change to Paul Biya.
Yeah.
Because now they want to put the man they are looking for to be the next president and make him the vice president, and then change the constitution so that when the time comes, at any time, he will just push himself to the president. Thank you, Chris. I'm done.
All right. Thank you for your take. I'm thinking the same way too. Have a great night. Okay, let us see who is calling. Okay. Let's get to ground zero. Hello. Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
Bamenda, sir.
All right. In 1 minute, what is in your mind, sir?
Yes, I want to say that my greatest wish is that our new president, the element that has been lacking in this revolution is the element of ruthlessness, mercilessness. Amazonians are too merciful, especially with enablers and traitors. My greatest wish is that the president will assume a ruthless position as far as these criminals are concerned. Look at the Boros, for example. Who are the Boros? If you know what the Boros have done in Amazonia, especially in that county, Menchum, you will not believe it. This is just the tip of the iceberg. The Boros should be wiped out. They should be wiped out. I don't care whether they call it genocide or what. They should be wiped out for what they are doing, especially in the Womb Central. And then Amazonia has got a lot of traitors, enablers. Look at what happened yesterday. Some drunkards, some comedians were rejoicing that PWD has won the cup. Can you believe the provocation? PWD Bamenda? What cup are they winning?
Now, tell me about PWD Bamenda. Was it the first time they won the cup recently? I thought they won it last year too, is it?
Last year, they were crowned the winners of the championship. This year...
Oh, the champion cup. Okay.
Yes, to give the impression that we are one. You know, when PWD used to be half a football team, they could never allow them win. But today that they are carrying out a genocide, they are allowing them to win. And drunkards go about celebrating it. It is unbelievable, Secretary Chris. There are a lot of drunkards.
Well, you see, one thing that marvels me is the fact that PWD, throughout this struggle, continues to play these matches unstopped. And we have Amazonia fighters. I don't know why PWD Bamenda or any team in Amazonia should still be playing a tournament in La Republic of Cameroon.
It defies reasoning. I can never understand. We are not really serious. I want to say that we are not serious.
You are right.
The day we will be serious, we will have independence. Right? People are celebrating that PWD has won, and the phone of Isu has just been killed. People have been killed in Bafut. Killing is going on. They are celebrating some nonsense that PWD has won. What? I've not seen this kind of immature, unconscious
and
people.
The championship that they won, it took them years to receive the 10 million francs that was due them. I read it in the papers. That for years they will never pay that 10 million francs.
You are correct. You are correct. Cheap traitors. That's what they are. Cheap, desperate traitors. Like somebody said that it will be better for 1,000 human beings to start a new country, Amazonia. The garbage should be sifted out. I support that person. This is nonsense.
All right.
At this time, this is unacceptable.
Thank you for the call.
Yes.
All right.
Secretary Chris, can I add something to what that caller said?
Okay, let's get to see who else.
Secretary Chris.
He's not listening.
Secretary Chris.
He's not listening.
Bishop John,
can you hear me?
I will come to you on this subject because we need to know you are in the military department. We will need to know why PWD Bamenda continue to play these games in the course of this struggle. But let's get this caller first. Hello. Hello, sir.
Hello. Yeah, here is Apostle. I'm calling from Douala.
Okay, from La Republique du Cameroon. What is in your mind, sir? What's your contribution?
Yes, I want to first of all thank you so much. Anybody that doesn't want to believe in what you are saying is a demon from the pit of hell. I've been listening to you keenly and they are hearing what I'm saying. One time I called ABC. There was one guy that was interviewed. I talked with them. After my conversation with them, they started insulting and accusing. They call it God's ordained revolution. They have missed the track. I've been hearing you sound and clear. And I want to say this. Actually, I'm from Kupe Manigova. Actually from there.
Okay.
But just like I was hearing from the station minutes ago, a lot of things are happening. They have killed people in my own place more than 5 a day. and they were picking them from one house to the other, from one house to the
in
other.
Coupe, what town precisely? Is it Tombe? Is it Guti? Where is that?
It's under Bange Mambo.
Okay.
Under Bange. They killed the guy, and
who was doing this? Who was killing? Who was doing the killings?
Security Chris, military of La Republique invaded the place, and they were going house to house, calling the people's name. They come out, they slaughter them. They gather them, they slaughter them. And since then, they were meeting that they were holding in Bangem. They are always trying to stop the move. They have even stopped the move because nothing is going on there again. Nothing is going on. So what they are saying, I don't know why people doesn't want to have ears. They are killing people, and the people still sit there, sitting on the chair. They don't know the difference between the chair and what we are fighting for. They don't know. And they keep on taking money, and without seeing the people that are dying here. This thing is painful. Yeah. It's high time people should understand that the life of human beings is at risk here.
Well, thank you for the call. Let's hope that we can put things back together.
Don't mind whatsoever they are calling, whatsoever they are writing, stand your ground. There was another man that was standing for us. He has joined the other camp. Barrister John Funso.
Oh, John Funso. He is a bad case.
Totally, that man is talking for us. Now he has come there. He has changed. He's dining with people that are killing us.
You know, you live in La Republique du Cameroon for too long to be changed by young people like us. Have a great night, sir. Thank you for calling.
Thank you. God bless you.
All right. Bishop John, again, let me come to you a little bit. Why is PWD Bamenda still playing matches? You have been Secretary of Defense. Everybody knows that throughout all this period. How come PWD Bamenda is still playing these matches in La République du Cameroon?
Okay. Senator Chris, maybe Dr. Epa wanted to say something very briefly, and he was calling your attention concerning the previous caller. And you did not, so can you let him say something there?
All right, sorry, I didn't hear him because I was tuned down. All right, Dr. Epa, go on, please.
Thank you, Secretary Chris. PWD Bamenda, PWD Kumba. Do they know what PWD actually means? Public Works Department, which was Southern Cameroon. Then it became West Cameroon. Why are they confused? I don't know what is wrong with our people. I don't know what is wrong with our people. I think PWD Bamenda, since PWD Kumba is no longer in place, let them stop playing those matches. 10 million francs is nothing as compared to the independence that you have. When we have independence, of course, we have our independence. When we restore this independence, you play all the type of games you want to play on earth. And forget right now trying to work with La Republique to make the world understand that it is one and indivisible. Thank you very much.
Somebody is writing that the players, most of the players are francophones from La République du Cameroun, and that they are funded by the government. Is it not more of the reason, Bishop John, why we should go after these people? And you have been there forever, and we never stop them.
Yes, Chris, let me tell you, we have a dynamic on the ground, as I'm going to tell you now. We had an operation against the enablers of La Republique in Ambazonia. But these enablers, they use money. And there are some commanders on the ground who are being paid and under the payroll of some of these elites and some of these people at public talks and businessmen in Ambazonia and causing them not to fight. And these commanders, they go after any ARF who want to go and fight or execute some of this action. This is the truth I'm telling you. Commanders on the ground or ARF on the ground have made complaint of some of these big generals. That's why some of these big titles that we gave some people, putting them in charge, was a problem, has been a problem. Because these people, when they start seeing money, they don't fight again. They hold those guns only to threaten people who want to fight. So there's something that needs to be done drastically. So that answers your question to say that, Secretary Chris. There's an order that is against all these Republic enabling agencies and agents inside Amazonia. There's an order against them. But these people know some of these commanders, and they have been bribing these commanders and paying the money. You know places like Bamenda, where we have a lot of kidnappers and all those there. They are the one enabling these things to go on, and they go against our own ARF want to execute this fight, and they connive with the Republic to go after our own ARF want to execute this fight. But they will not do this for long, Secretary Chris, because as we have been knowing everything that is going on, we are changing strategy, and very soon, all these people that are in Ambazonia enabling the Republic, there will be history. This is what
all
we're
right.
saying.
Let's get to this caller from ground zero. Hello. Hello. Please, can you turn down the volume of your set, please, and focus on the phone?
Yes. Can I contribute a bit?
Yes, sir. You have 1 minute. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling
Hello.
Yes, in the Republic. I wanted to say, the word I wanted to say is this. Please, we are begging you people. Our fathers always told us this. Our father always told us.
Sorry, a lot of distraction in your background, sir. A lot of background noise over there. We can't hear you enough. This issue of PWD is political ploy. Political ploy to deceive the Ambazonian that they have a team. It is lodged and masterminded in Yaoundé. That is one of the listeners. All right, let's get back to this caller here. Hello. Hello.
Yes. I wanted to contribute. Yes, hello. I wanted to contribute a bit.
Okay, go on, please. 1 minute.
What I wanted to say is this. We know our father all told us there shall be a day that we, the children, shall help to liberate them from the hand that we entered into, or a contract we entered into. But that was not the same. Now, as we have already getting the possibility, I'm looking onto our brothers that they have turned their backs onto what our fathers told us, that we can never remain under that people. But today, I'm seeing our brothers. They are one of the ones that are killing their own brother. In the name of the elite have sponsored them. The elite have done this. When shall we become one? As our fathers were calling on us on it. That
Well, you have a very bad connection. I think we got the point you're trying to make. When shall we become one? I guess you are referring to these so-called elites seeing the need to join us in this fight. Let's hope they actually see the need to do so. Thank you for the call, sir. Let's get to the next caller here. Hello.
Hello, Secretary.
Hello, good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
reminder.
Okay, and what is your contribution, sir?
My own contribution, the picture that I sent to you, is my own contribution.
And who is that? I saw the photograph, but I don't know what you meant by it. You didn't attach any note to it.
That's one of the supporters of that PWD. That lady like that is the lady is working with Bamenda 2 Council.
Okay.
Yes. So that's the reason that I sent you that picture, because that picture is she has taken that picture from Yaoundé.
During the march in Yaoundé or what?
Yes, during the march in Yaoundé.
Okay. What are her names? You didn't send me the names.
I will try to find her name, because that lady like that she's a black lady.
Is she Ambazonian or Francophone?
No, she's an Ambazonian.
All right. Okay, thank you for the call, sir.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will call it a night here. But before we do that, I got some piece of information to bring to you for all of you out there with counties and LGAs. Ladies and gentlemen, counties and LGAs that are out there battling with hand clappers under SACO. We got this piece of information to you. The APP is calling on all Ambazonians kicked out of any LGA or county fora by the impeach and remove president and his surrogates to call. You can actually text me. You have my number out there. In other words, if you belong to any LGA or county where you have been kicked out of your fora by surrogates of impeach and remove president, please call my number. Call my number or do not call. Yeah, it will be better you leave a message because I will read it. You call it, I may not pick it. But if you leave a message, I will find that message. So leave me a message with the name of your LGA, and the name of your chair. What we are advising all of you to do if you have been kicked out of your regular LGA or county forum is immediately set out the new one and let us know. We will come in and reorganize your LGA in your county in a functional manner. Everybody working for SACO and the rest, we have to kick them out so we make sure that no dime that is coming from this interim government gets back into the hands of those people who have squandered and invested your money in business, Bitcoin, for all these years. We cannot have that happen again. So, if you belong to any LGA, any county, and you have been kicked out of your forum, please, we want you to get your other colleagues together and reconstitute the LGA and the county. Let us reach out, raise funds, put it in your hands to make sure that those counties are functioning. I can assure you, ladies and gentlemen, within 2 months, SACO will not see a dime. We wish to continue with his confusion because I do not see any Ambazonian who will give him money. I learned they had their ASSC so-called, and all that came out of there was $5,000. Ladies and gentlemen, if I mean to raise money right here, right now, within the next 30 minutes, if I need $10,000, I will get it. I will get it. But the whole conference, they want you to know there were 486, whereas there were really 94. They want you to know was huge. But look at the money that comes out of there. You have 468 people and you raise only 5,000. Come on. Of course, that's to tell you how dubious these people are. Bishop John, Dr. Epa, 1 minute, please, for your last say. Again, the president is coming up on Wednesday to address the nation. A very maiden address to Ambazonia. What would you say to anyone sitting by the fireside on ground zero, listening and watching and filled with excitement about that speech?
It is a new dawn for Ambazonia, and we have a lady, Iron Lady, as our president. I am calling on all Ambazonians to get their data, try and buy data on that day, and stay focused. If you don't have a satellite TV, to tune to ABS or Ambazonian Freedom Television, get on Facebook Live on ABS, and tune in, or on YouTube, because we want to see everybody live on that day. You need to come and hear for yourself, as the Iron Lady of Ambazonia is going to be outlining or making her first official speech to the people of Ambazonia. And I know that speech is going to be packed full of some of her pointers, or is going to be pointing us to the direction of what we should be expecting from her government. So I call on all Ambazonians to be present on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Amber time. Secretary Chris, I just have something to say that I thought that we were going to discuss about lessons learned from Ukraine. If I know that,
yes, we will get to that because I thought if we have to handle that, we will use a whole show okay, to handle that. Yes. So don't be worried about that.
I just wish to let Ambazonia know that we have a lot to learn from Ukraine.
Yes, absolutely. We will get that. I will dedicate a whole show to lessons that we can learn from Ukraine. Dr. Epa, please, 1 minute for your last word to Ground Zero especially.
Thank you, Ambazonians. Thank you, all those who have been watching us. We love you. We Ambazonians, not fake Ambazonians, but the real Ambazonians, please continue to be in this struggle. Do what you are supposed to do for us to have our independence fully restored. For the restoration fighters, please, for some of you who have not been doing a very good job, harassing people, collecting ransoms, please desist from this type of activities. That is why some of our people, instead of supporting you, they decide to support the enemy, La Republic Army. Don't do a very bad job. And for those who have been reporting our boys, our fighters, genuine fighters, to La Republic Army, we are now advising you to change. If you don't, you are calling yourself, you want yourself to be in very deep trouble. Don't do that. In Guti local government area, they have given all of you their telephone numbers, and many of you have the telephone numbers of the DO, the gendarmes, the police, the army. You have to be very, very careful. We want this independence. When you look at it very clearly, there was a problem in Guti, who was to be the chief. 2007, I came there and I saw 2 traditional councils in Guti, in the city of Guti. Why? Because the chief had died and the son who was to take over was born by a Manyaman lady. And then Guti was divided. But these army people are raping your women, befriending a lot of women, and they are giving birth to their children. And those children are not going to forget their parents, their father. And it will be a very big problem for us, not only in Guti alone, but in the whole of Ambazonia, where you have Francophones taking over. So God is going to help us. If nothing else sinks your head throughout this show, know that independence is better than being a slave. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Ipa. Thank you, Bishop John, for joining me today. I look forward to having you back here again in the days ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all that we've got for you today. But before I go, I'd like to call upon you, remind you to please log on to our website, absafricatelevision.com. absafricatelevision.com. You can find more news, ladies and gentlemen, there on the website, and you can also get there to support ABS. All you need to do is click the donation button to be able to support ABS. We're looking forward to starting quite a number of new programming here. Tomorrow, Comfort will be launching Encounter here on ABS. So please tune in tomorrow. I guess same time tomorrow for Encounter with Comfort. On Wednesday, Mike Fusi will be launching the War Room, ladies and gentlemen, not the War Zone. The War Zone on Wednesday, coming up every Wednesday, 10 p.m. But I shall be back here on Wednesday with the speech of the President, 8 p.m. Amber time. Actually, we'll start earlier by 7 p.m. Amber time. So, Tuesday, Comfort coming up. Wednesday, Mike Fusi coming up. Fridays, I may be back. And then Saturday, what is it? Fritz Misode will be back also with Face the People. And then, of course, the news. The news is being set up. I am truly hoping that by next month, we should launch that. Thank you for tuning in today. I look forward to being back here with you on the Wednesday. But again, remember, Comfort is coming up tomorrow. Remain blessed, and you have a great night.
Ebo nangeti lukali fanga tuma sese koni lomi kumendo. Abo stapi. Oh, na kosu matu nyankwa. Nda we mante fili yonga makoye mboko pese manu chifre. Yafuka.
Master robusto on the beat.
Ulai manange. Kaisi manange. Talk